Okay, good morning. My name's Jason Riley. I'll be your instructor for the class today. Just a bit of housekeeping first off. Okay, if you want your toilets, you go out the door here, turn to my left, turn to the right, there's toilets down the hallway there.
Great.
We have an emergency evacuation happen. You go out the door here, to my right, down to the front of reception, out into the car park, there's a gathering area out there, people will tell you where to go. Okay. Now, also, I'll get you to introduce yourself.
Yes.
You're learner 5.
Yes.
And your background is you're working for the rental company maintenance department.
Yes, I'm the team leader.
You're the team leader.
Yes.
Okay, and you've. I'll just give you a heads up that 3 sessions were done on this, and your manager has asked for another session for you to come through
Yes.
and do this.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the attendance sheet. I'll get
I'm
you
a bit
to.
confused.
I'll get you to fill that out.
Yep. Can I tick both of these? I attended the training. Yes.
You attended
Here I am.
training, yes. Prepared.
Did I participate? Maybe.
Oh,
you
I'm
have to
going to
do
do that at the end.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Yep. Thank
Out
you.
your way. Now, before we start getting into it, do you have any questions of what I've just covered at all?
No, I don't think so. I'm happy to do it again because maths and things is not my favourite thing. So, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll help you through all that.
Yeah.
So don't stress about today's session.
Okay.
Get you through it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you'll be right.
And I have a bit of a sore arm, so like, just
Okay. No worries. How does it impact you at all during the class?
It can get a bit sore if I'm using it too much, like for 20 minutes or so.
Okay, so the session we've got is a 30-minute session, and the most amount of time you'll be using your arm to do things will be 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, I should be fine then.
Okay. All right. So the reason that your manager has asked for this extra session for you guys is for you, and I've already ran through one for somebody else.
Yep.
Is that I ran 3 sessions on the carry out measurements and calculations for 3 other students from your company. The manager said, yep, like that. I've got 2 other students, put them through individually.
Yeah.
And so no worries. Now, we're only going to be doing the 1 session.
Mm-hmm.
And in this 1 session, I've condensed the other 3, but I've kept out in the other 3 sessions there was and what we'd be doing today is area and perimeter and the formulas and how you get your information. But in saying that, I also had the area and perimeter of circles, the volume of a prism, and the volume of a cylinder, which we won't be covering today. All right. Now, I did send out an email to you. Now, the email had the links for the videos on how to use a calculator, steel ruler, and measuring tape.
Yes.
And that is to get you familiarised with the equipment that we're going to be doing that. And I asked for your manager to sit there with you, have a little play around with the equipment and go through it like that. Now, did you find those videos okay?
Yeah, it was fine. And he helped me a little bit with the computer because I got a bit confused with the links, but I got in and I watched it.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So what I've done is I've made the program, the session for today, so that you're not going to be doing stuff measuring or using your arm for long periods of time.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've simplified all the slideshows and all that. The formulas, I've got handouts for you. We'll be going through all those. And what we'll do with that is that you should be able to, by the end of the session, be able to do what your manager wanted you to do by the end of the session.
Hope so.
We'll see how we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the learning objectives today will be ways of obtaining measurements and the importance of measuring accurately.
Mm-hmm.
We will identify units of measurement used in the construction industry, identify different equipment used for measuring and calculating in the construction industry, which we've already touched on before, which is your rulers, your steel ruler, your measuring tape, and your calculator, which we're going to be using today.
Great.
All right. Calculate the perimeter of a square or rectangle, and we're going to calculate the area of a square or rectangle.
Cool.
Have you had any experience in perimeters or area before?
Maybe in primary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would have been what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
Yeah. Super recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago.
Beautiful. Okay. So ways of obtaining measurements. There are several ways to obtain measurements. You can read them off a plan or drawing, which your work will have sometimes.
Yep.
When you're going out to one of these rental properties.
Yeah.
You will measure them physically using the appropriate tape measure. So you may have to go out and replace a lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll use a tape measure. You'll go out there, measure a big distance. You may have to replace a window. Use a ruler for that. Smaller distances, things like that.
Yep.
So you can measure them physically using the appropriate tape measure. Read them from the packaging. So once you get things sent out to you, we might have a generic. You guys got a generic window you use, but you might have multiple. So you've got to see which one's in the packaging. So you can read what the sizes are and all that.
Oh, yep.
And read them from the manufacturer's instructions as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the other things you can do is get information from your fellow workers out on site, your manager in the office.
Yeah.
Your manager, you're a manager, but a manager, things like that. Measuring accurately. Accurate measuring is important because incorrect measuring can result in wasted time putting you behind schedule, wasted material costing you or the business money, and ruined aesthetics such as incorrectly sized tiles. Okay, so these two tie into each other, the wasted time putting you behind schedule and wasted material. So the bottom line there, he said, remember the saying, measure twice, cut once. Always check any measurements you've taken before you use them.
Yes.
So if you measure up incorrectly, then you go back to your place where you're going to put your piece of material in, you might find this is the wrong size. And you may not be able to use that piece of material again. So that may be wasted. That's going to go in the bin.
Yeah.
Mind you, not only have you wasted material, you've also wasted your time. Because now you've got to measure it again, cut it again, and go back and make sure it fits. So you've wasted material, you've wasted time, and time is money.
Yep.
Okay. Now the units of measurement we will be using will be millimeters.
Yep.
So a millimeter, there's 10 millimeters into a centimeter. Okay.
Yep.
Now there's 100 centimeters into a meter. Now you don't really use centimeters all that much. It's mainly your millimeters and meter. So you'll have 1,000 millimeters into a meter, 100 centimeters into a meter. Okay.
Yep.
You got all that?
Yes. Yes.
So the millimeter, if we have a look on the ruler here, is the small
Tiny
little black gaps.
Yep.
Yep. And as you see, there's 10. It says 10, that's 1 centimeter.
Yeah.
There's 100 millimeters,
Yeah.
that's 10 centimeters, 200, and so on.
Yeah.
Until we get to the point where we have 1,000 millimeters, which makes a meter. That's how long that is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
As long as I think it is. Yeah. Not good at spatial awareness.
Okay.
Help.
All
Good
right.
to know.
Yeah. Just let you know on that.
I'll try to remember.
On the tape measure too, and it was on the video as well. Remember, there's two sets of measurements. One's in metric, which is your millimeters, your meters, and all that. And the other one's imperial, which we don't use.
Why does they take measures with imperial?
Because the United States use imperial.
Aren't they like Australian made tape measures?
They could be, but they might import it.
Okay. Seems silly.
Import,
How
export.
come they only use metal ones and not? You have wooden ones at school.
We do have the wooden ones as well.
Yeah.
These ones are good. These are industrial, so they can cop a bit of whack and they're out in the field.
Yeah, okay.
They'll last longer.
All right, makes sense.
Okay. So for our next section here, we're going to be identifying different equipment used for measuring and calculating in the construction industry.
Okay.
And we're going to explain how each piece of instrument is used. Okay. Sorry about the heater. It's
That's okay.
Good.
I bought my book.
beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've got the calculator.
Mm-hmm.
So with the calculator in front of you, I sent you the video
Yes.
on how to turn it on, how to use it, how to turn it off, and I've got the buttons here on how to turn it on.
Yep.
Which is here, and turn it off there. And it's got the basic. It's only a basic calculator. It's not a scientific calculator. We got sine, cos, tan, and all these other things. When you need to do any formulas, they're basic with multiplication, addition,
Okay.
and you might have some subtraction you got to do or divide, things like that. But they're pretty much all you're going to use.
Okay.
You don't need anything else really
That's good.
for this.
Slightly.
It is lucky, aren't we? Okay. So with calculators, you can use a general purpose calculator to perform calculations on the job.
Mhm.
And these calculations can be used to calculate the formula for perimeter and area.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So what I've got here for you
Mhm.
is a calculator practice sheet. So what I want you to do is to do these calculations for me, please, and see how you go with that.
Okay.
I'll just get you to speak it out as you go.
25 plus 15 plus 25 plus 15, 80.
All right, so you got your 80 there to write in?
Yep. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's correct. What's your next one?
Yeah, that. 30 plus 20, 30 plus 10. Same. 80.
There we go.
Excuse me.
That's all good. Yeah, what have we got next?
Time multiplication. 25, 12, 300. Twist button twice. I don't know why. Isn't that some OCD thing going on there? 40 times 15, 600.
There we go.
Oh, that trips me out.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah.
40 times 10 is 400 and 40 times 5 is 200.
Can you do
400
these in your head?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So that's the basic use of the calculator we're going to be doing. You'll be doing out in the field.
Okay.
So, how did you find that?
Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fingers are the right size for buttons.
Beautiful.
I did not expect those numbers to be the same. That's a reflection by maths. There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
And I'll explain why I've done them those ways later.
Mm.
Okay. So now we've got the measuring tape.
Okay.
So I've got the measuring tape there in front of you.
Yes.
Okay. So measuring tape's used for measuring long distances with a reasonable degree of accuracy.
Okay.
Made of a flexible metal blade in a metal or plastic case. Yep.
Yep.
Blade is coiled and controlled by a strong spring. So as you saw, the spring came back in.
Yes.
So if you use the
That thing holds it out, you know?
yep,
Click.
like in the video, yep.
Yep, like in the video.
There we go. Be careful.
Watch fingers.
There could be an injury there
Yeah.
with that strong spring, and it works great because that way it rolls it packs itself up for you, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, common tapes are 3 to 10 meters long, and I'm pretty sure the one that you've got in your hands now is an 8 meter.
Yes. Or 26 foot.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the imperial side of it, which we won't be using here in Australia.
Right.
But if you ever need to know imperial, you've got the measurements in there.
I hope I don't.
Or a measurement converter on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, markings are 1 millimeter apart and numbers are written every 10 millimeters. Okay, which I showed before.
Yes. Same as the ruler.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Now, looking after your measuring tapes, don't be rough with the blade or the tape housing. You don't want to damage it.
Yep.
Okay, that might impact it from coming in and out
Okay.
of the housing.
Are they hard to break?
Well, they are pretty sturdy, but I'm pretty sure that if you're up on a roof doing something, you drop it on the concrete, there's every chance you may cause something to happen.
Okay.
All right. So retract the blade gently. So although it comes in as fast as it can, see if you can just guide it in, slow it down a bit.
Yeah.
Keep the blade free from grit and moisture. So if you were to get, you might be out measuring your lawn. Let's just say you're out doing that. You got it on the grass. It's covered in moisture. It's dirt. When you retract it in, it's going to go inside.
Okay.
And it might rust it, damage it internally. So you can wipe it all down before it goes back in.
Okay.
And it just keeps it working correctly. And don't leave the measuring tape exposed for long periods to the direct rays of the sun, and that's because the UV rays will break it down.
Okay.
Break down the casing, break down the metal. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to get you to do now, step up. So I'll get you to measure across the tables here. See if you can show me how you can do
All the
that.
way across the table.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if we put the metal section at the end here, down here, clip it on.
Yeah.
A little clip there.
It says 120
Centimetres? Okay, so if we multiply that by 10 to get our millimetre, we've got 120 times 10, so put another 0 at the end.
Yes, 1200.
Okay, and 1200, if we divide it by 1,000 to get metres, is 1.2.
Okay. Yes, you move the dot back 2 spots.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to be doing all the conversions today. We're just going to be touching on
Okay.
how to use the equipment that your boss has asked for you to use, be trained up in.
Grade 3 maths coming back to me.
Yep. Grade 3 maths. Grade 3 was the best 3 years of my life. So, do you have any questions at all on the tape measure? How to use it and how to look after it?
I don't think so. No.
Everything's all good.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. How do you make it come back slower? Is there a way that you can make it come back slower?
Pretty much the only way I can do it is when I pull it out.
Because I legit go like that.
So I just keep my hand on it like that. I control it by holding it.
Even if it's like all the way out, like on the other side of the room.
Yeah, just control it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can run your hand over it like that, let it come
Okay.
back through.
Cool.
Okay, so now we go into the steel ruler. Now, trace people in the construction industry don't use a 4-fold ruler and basic steel ruler. Markings are placed at 1 millimetre and numbers of every 10 millimetres. So it's exactly the same as a measuring tape.
Yep.
So we've got it here. The numbers are the same. And now the 4-fold ruler that we're talking about in the slideshow is there's 2 of them in a row here. There's 2 on the top that fold out. When you open it all up, it goes 4 times 300, which is 1200, which we measured across here. So the 4-fold ruler would have measured across there. Now with this one too, the measurements are hard up on the end there. So you don't have to worry about it. Some rulers you get, the plastic spool rulers had a little gap and then it started.
Yeah.
So this one here is hard up against the edge.
Yeah, okay. When would you use a ruler?
Okay. So if you were going to measure something up that's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll get you to
like a tape measure might be annoying a little.
Exactly right. Okay. So if you've got something that's this size, okay, tape measure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, that makes sense.
So I'll get you to measure length and width of the book.
So 211 across.
Right.
And let's get this straight. 200 and I'm going to say 79.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be hard to do with a measuring tape. I guess you could also then, if you've got to mark things out, right, you've got a ruler for a straight line.
Exactly right.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So you could measure across a certain distance, put a mark there, measure across a certain distance there, straight line.
Yeah, okay.
Straight across.
And really, do tradies really carry metal rulers around?
Yeah, some do. Some carry the 4 fold up. They carry the
hippies, I would imagine, more than anybody else.
Yeah, they carry set squares.
Yeah.
There's a protractor behind you.
That's all right.
Sort of.
Oh, the circle thing with the other one.
But
we're not going into circles today.
No, we won't be doing the area and volume and prisms and things like that. Cylinders. So
okay.
There's a time and a place for the measuring tape.
Yep.
Look, there's nothing to say you can't use it on something smaller.
Sure.
If you feel more comfortable using that. But there might be some spots where you can only get this in to measure.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why your work have got both.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's just purely to allow you to
use what you need.
Yeah, it's about picking the correct tool for the correct job.
Sure. Okay. Great.
All right.
Yep.
So now, do we have any more questions on the steel ruler?
They're all the questions I had.
You have all the questions you have?
Yep.
And don't forget, you can also use your 4-fold ruler, but we're not covering that in today's session. It's just that purely these 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we're going to cover next is, I think, would be one of your favourites.
Okay.
Okay, we've got perimeter and area.
Great.
All right. So the difference between perimeter and area is that the perimeter is the outside of an object. Okay. So as you can see here, it's the fence.
Okay.
All right. The area is the inside. That's the lawn. So
Okay.
perimeter and area. Perimeter here is the wall.
Yep.
Going around. The area is the floor and the ceiling. Okay. So the volume
Yeah.
or the area is what I'm walking on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So perimeter, and there's a diagram there that explains it again.
Yep.
It's around. It's around the outside.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Perimeter is a boundary or outside edge. In the building industry, it's used to refer to things like fencing, gutters, external wall lengths.
Okay.
Now, a rectangle is any four-sided figure where all angles are 90 degrees and opposite sides are of equal length and parallel. Okay. So we've got
Yep.
this is a rectangle.
Yep.
These two are the same length that are in parallel, and these two are in the same length that are in parallel. Okay.
Yep.
If all four are the same,
It'd be a square.
right on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now if we're going to work out, if we're going to, this is our, let's just say this is our lawn or our concrete or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're going to work out how much area we need to put down in here to put grass, something like that down. What we're going to do is we're going to add, the perimeter, sorry. If we're going to put a fence up, we're going to add the outsides.
Yep.
For the fence. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to measure across here, measure there, measure there, measure there, and add all four of them up.
Okay.
All right. So in the handout I've given you for the sheet, which you can take away from here, and it was in your email too.
Yes.
That's your formulas.
Okay.
Okay. But what we've got now here is a practice sheet. Now, this one I've already put the measurements in. They haven't already been measured. So I just want to see how you go using your calculator and adding them up.
Okay. 220, 3 million, 20 plus 15. 70.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's it measured in? Millimeters?
Millimeters.
So you put the mm at the end of it.
Okay. Yep. Important. Okay. So perimeter 84 plus 27 plus 84 plus 27. 222 in centimeters. Do I have?
Yep.
Am I making it millimeters or centimeters?
No, it's got centimeters.
Yeah, 222 centimeters. Yeah.
Yeah. Your next one.
Okay. 7 plus 6 plus 6. 26
And what's that in?
meters.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So what I've got now for you,
Uh-huh.
we can actually measure up a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got your board here,
Uh-huh.
and as you can see, the rule is not long enough.
Okay.
So you're going to have to use this one.
The tape measure.
There we go.
Okay.
So I'll get you to measure up and fill in the details. So I want you to,
The length, because
Yep,
the longer
so-
one is the length. Yeah.
length, width, length.
Okay.
width. And we've got to add them all up. But as you can see, the two sides are going to be the same.
Yep. So I reckon that is. I reckon it's bang on 50.
There we go. So we put in 50 centimetres.
Can I put it in on both sides at
Yep.
the same length? So 50 and 50.
Correct.
50 because it's and with the millimeters. Yeah.
No, that's centimetres when it's in the red.
Okay.
Millimetres is 500. Because you're multiplying it by 10.
Oh yes. Okay. 500. Do you want me to do this in millimeters or
It's
something?
up to you.
All right, I'm going to do millimeters. 'Cause I'm a trading today.
Yep. And then we're going to do the other end.
Okay. Some bit longer. Ooh. 30. 300.
Yep. So we're using millimetres again.
Yes. It's got 30, 300. 300. That's very good, sharp, straight cutting. Cutting. Well played.
And remember, after each number, it's an mm in
Oh, yeah,
millimetres.
okay. Otherwise, you could get a big bit instead of a small bit.
Correct. So now our calculator, we're going to add all them up. We've got the pluses on that sheet.
Okay. $1,600.
Millimetres. So mm.
And then
Okay.
isn't it like millimeters something. Isn't there a
No,
thing?
that's the area.
Oh, that's area.
Okay, so now we've got this
Oh,
one.
because I'm in the perimeter. That's
Yeah,
right.
so now we've got this one
Yeah.
for the square here.
Okay.
Now you can see your rule is going to be enough to measure this.
Excellent. 30 again, good cutting. Oh, so then they're all going to be the same because it's a square.
Yeah, you can check it though.
See how well.
Remember, check twice, cut once.
Yeah, yep. Oh, I don't know. I reckon that's like what, half a millimeter. It's 300.
But we'll round it up.
That's fine. 300, 300, 300, 300, 300.
Yeah, millimeter.
2800 millimeters.
What does that equal?
Perimeter. 3, 6, 9, 12. Too many. How many zeros? No, I'm going to actually do it. Like that is the level of math I can't do. That's so hilarious. 400 plus 400 plus 400. 300. It's saying 300. I was writing 300. Well, it's writing 300, but saying 400.
Yeah.
1200. Now I don't trust their rate. 3, 6, 9, 12.
That's correct.
Yeah, good. 1, 2.
All right, now you happy with perimeter?
This is not acting just. Cool.
All right.
Great.
Now we're going to go into area.
Yep.
Which was the grass section, the floor. Okay,
Yes.
so area is the amount of space inside a boundary or outside edge. Square units are used for area measurements such as meters squared. So when you do your measurement, that's when you put the 2 at the end, because you're multiplying 2 measurements.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Examples include grassed or concrete yards,
Yes.
floor area of individual rooms and buildings,
Yep.
area of a building block.
Okay.
Okay, now the formula for this, for a rectangle and square, which are the shapes we've got here,
Yes.
is length times width. So it's a multiplication this time.
Okay.
Okay. So area equals number of square units in the area. So when you multiply them, that's one. So let's just say that's 1 square centimetre. When you multiply the 2, it'll tell you how many are in there.
And that's this. Oh, okay. Yep. Cute. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That makes sense.
All right. So now,
That little tiny thing is very helpful. Yep. All right.
so now there's the formula for you to take home.
Okay.
But it's up on the board and all.
Thank you.
Here's a practice sheet for a few.
Okay.
So
it's that times that.
Yep.
And then you.
And that's your answer.
The little 2.
At the end of it, yep.
Okay. 40. So 2. So
2,000
2,000
millimetre.
millimeters squared.
Yep.
Okay.
MM2.
MM2.
All right. What's the next one?
Okay. Centimeters. 25 times 12. 300
Yep. Centimetre. CM
centimeters.
squared.
Yep.
Beautiful. The next one.
Oh, decimal points.
8.3 times 5.
4.5
41.5.
meters.
Yep. Squared.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So now we've got a couple of handouts here to measure this
Okay.
now. So do you remember your measurements for this?
It was 300.
Okay. So and that was
The
both.
same.
Yep. Both
Yep.
sides. Okay.
Yep.
So you can put 300 times 300 millimetres.
Oh, yep. 300 times 300. 3 times 3 is 9. 300 times 300. 90,000. Right on that, I've done that.
That's correct.
No, is that right? 300 times 300. 90,000. That's more than I thought it was going to be. 9.
It's only millimetres. We haven't converted it to centimetres and metres.
That's right. Yep. Also, it's. She always trips me out because I always legitimately think because it's like that you're going to have 4. Especially because there's 4 numbers, 4 zeros. Because I think there's a 0, 0, and a 0 and a 0. But
Yeah, so you need another 0, which is your 4.
Oh, that is my 4th 0. It is right. I just hadn't written it down.
So millimetres squared. Okay, now we've got this one here.
I could never be a chippy. Yep.
Okay, so you remember your measurements or you want to measure them out again?
I can't remember. It was 30 on one side. I can't
So,
remember the other
just
one.
measure 'em out,
Oh, but yeah.
You can do centimetres, millimetres, whatever you want.
500 millimeters.
All right, so 500. And what's the other side?
It was 3. It was the same. It was 300.
There we go. So you can put your measurements in your formula
Oh, I
now.
reckon it's 200. 300. 500. 500 meters times 300 is 15,000. 500 times 150,000.
And remember, it's area, so we've got, and it's in millimetres, and it's area, so we've got a 2 at the end. Okay, so how'd you go with that?
Yeah, okay.
No, all
The
right,
amount of zeros is confusing in my head. I'm glad I have a calculator.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have, that's the session for today.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for the session?
What if it's not a neat square? You'd have to turn it into squares and add them together?
Yeah, so that's another session.
Yeah, okay.
So
Good start.
it is.
That's what made sense.
It's just scratching the surface.
I get it.
Okay, so thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We just covered off
Yeah.
how where you get your measurements from, type of measurements, area,
Where to use which
perimeter,
ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
tools, the calculator,
Yep.
your measuring tape, your ruler.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the session done now. I've got a learner evaluation form for you. Thanks for that, and I will send out some information forward to you
Okay.
afterwards that you can continue on learning.
And I get to keep the.
You keep all the handouts, and I'm
The
also going to
handouts.
send out more practice sheets for you.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks, Jason.
thank you. All good?
Yes.
Beautiful.